Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Got the D-Man here, and I'm glad you could join me today. Today's topic is going to be a continuation of deep thinkers. Are you a deep thinker? Do people say to you, you think too much? Well, maybe you do. You just need to direct that thinking into something constructive instead of destructive. And the best way to do that is be careful about what you allow to come into your mind. You can't eliminate a thought, but you can replace it with another thought. So we will continue with this article I found on deep thinkers. Are you a deep thinker? And can you make use of that? Some of the greatest men of all time were deep thinkers. Think. God gave you a brain to use. Just use it constructively instead of destructively. Think about what you desire. Think about what you want as if you already have it. And then action will result from those thoughts. Action in the direction of your desires, whatever it is that you want. And when you get those intuitive thoughts, take action on them. Don't try to reason or logicalize them away. Not sure if that's a word, but you get the meaning. Okay, here we go. Number 4. You're naturally empathic. As patient and active listeners, a deep thinker is someone that will offer great comfort and support when others are down. They are empathic and accepting of others and have realistic answers to problems. Empathic means you can feel or you can put yourself in the other person's shoes. You understand because you listen. Most people are listening, thinking about what they're going to say as soon as the other person shuts up. You need to listen and think about what people are saying. Try to see things from their perspective. And a deep thinker and empathic person can do this. Now, he may recognize sometimes that he's only thinking about what he wants, but he can usually, or she, can put himself or herself in the position of the other person and see things from their point of view. Okay, you're forgetful. Number 5. You might be thinking, how the hell is this possible? Well, the problem is a deep thinker is thinking so much that mundane day-to-day tasks get pushed out of their lives or out of their heads. I'm somewhat forgetful, so what I do is I write things down. Make a list of what you have to do. If it's important, I write it down. Or what else you can do, people don't realize is your mind is very powerful. What I will do is I'll say, I'll remember to do this later. For example, let's say I have to wash clothes. I'll remember to wash my clothes tonight. And then just forget about it. And later on that evening, it'll pop in your head, hey, I need to wash clothes. It works very well. You may try it. It's the same way you can use your mind. I never use an alarm. Well, I'll say never. Excuse me. I hardly ever use an alarm clock. If I have a flight leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning, I have to get up at 2:30 or 2:15 in the morning. I will set the alarm, but I don't need it. I always wake up before the alarm. But just in case I do set it. But during normal days, I don't set the alarm. If I want to get up at 5, I can get up at 5. If I want to get up at 5:30 or 6, whenever, I can wake up on my own. You can do the same thing. You don't really need an alarm clock. You can do a lot of amazing things. The problem is we get used to using these modern devices, this technology. For example, when I go through the grocery store line, most cashiers can't count change because they're so used to using the cards and different things like that. When I lived in Central America, the girls there at the registers didn't have prices on anything. They could remember thousands of items, the prices, without looking them up, or there was no barcodes. So think about that. Because they didn't have these modern technologies, these options, their mind could do that for them. And you can do things like that also. But when you become reliant and dependent on certain tools, you find that you don't exercise your mind, or you don't even use these capabilities that you have. It's kind of like we don't even have to get up to turn the channel on the TV, now we can sit in the chair and click a button. So that's why many people here in the U.S. are obese or overweight, because we've made things so easy we don't even have to use our body much anymore. We actually have to work out because we don't work hard enough, because we've become so efficient at making things easy for everyone. Lawnmowers, hardly anyone pushes a lawnmower anymore, and I see many people who are obese or overweight that would benefit from pushing the lawnmower instead of riding the zero-turn lawnmowers. Okay, we'll continue. That's a whole nother topic there. Being in shape. Okay, you're curious. Number 6. A deep thinker is insatiably curious about the world around them. They need to know how things work and what makes people tick. Whether it's history, science, literature, or you, they want to know more because knowledge makes them happy. This makes them incredibly engaging because they know a little something about everything. I find that to be true too. Where that becomes a problem is in relationships, because I'm always asking questions. And I remember my last girlfriend, she was like, "What are you, a detective? Are you an investigator?" I'm like, "No, honestly, I'm just curious about her life, what she's doing, what's going on." It's not like I was wondering if she was up to anything, at least not at first anyway. Later on, it kind of got that way, but that's a whole nother story too. But the point is, I read, I study, I listen to YouTube videos, like documentaries and educational type things about consciousness, and many different universes, about the universes and multi-universe theory, multi-dimensional theories, all those things. I love to listen to those things and think about these concepts. But to someone who just lives superficially, and there's nothing wrong with that, they don't understand that why this person, such as me, is always asking questions and digging into things. I mean, I accept life on life's terms. I accept life how it is. But I'm curious to know more about life and what's going on. And this is another characteristic of a deep thinker. But as I said in yesterday's video, deep thinking doesn't make you smarter or better than anyone. It can actually drive you crazy, because you can get stuck on a thought or get like obsessive thoughts that you don't want to think about. So for people like us, we have to find something constructive to, let's say, obsess over or to think about. Otherwise, we'll get these random negative thoughts in our head that will drive us crazy. We can't go to sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about things that I don't want to think about, and I can't seem to shut that off. Doesn't happen too often. If I keep myself balanced physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or metaphysically, I don't have that problem. It's just when I get out of line with what I'm supposed to be doing, or I get off track or away from my purpose or my vision or whatever, and get to focusing on something outside of my center. All right. Number 7, you're open-minded. I think we could all use a little more open-mindedness. I know I can. Sometimes I don't want to see things from another person's point of view. But being I'm a deep thinker, I recognize that sometimes I can get closed-minded. And I'm sure you can too. We all can be closed-minded about certain topics that are programmed into us, that we believe without a shred of a doubt that we could be wrong. But we can always be wrong. And remember, everybody sees things from their perspective, and they find evidence to support what they believe is true. So in their reality, what they believe is true because they make it true, if you understand that. They make it true because they only see evidence of what they believe to be true. They see no opposing evidence. And they look for evidence to support what they believe to be true, and they ignore evidence that denies what they believe to be true. Deep thinkers are unlikely to close themselves off to new ideas. Psychologists believe that people who are able to look at both sides of an argument tend to score higher on intelligence tests. At the same time, a deep thinker won't blindly accept any new idea because they can see both sides of an argument. As the great Aristotle said, it is the mark of an educated man to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. One sign of open-mindedness is being open to new concepts. I've recently been introduced to something new that definitely piqued my interest. It's called biorhythms and is generating a lot of buzz among scholars, scientists, shamans, and mystics. Biorhythms can be used to predict important parts of a person's life through mathematical cycles. Although it originated in the 19th century, it didn't become popular until fairly recently. The basic idea is that our daily lives are affected by rhythmic cycles, with peaks and storms. The best bit is that by understanding our own cycle, we can predict our good and bad days and important life events, and most importantly, go on to achieve great things. If you're still confused, think numerology or astrology, but with a little more scientific credibility. Now, I'm naturally skeptic when it comes to a lot of this stuff, but the fact is cycles are everywhere, from day and night to the four seasons to human body running on circadian rhythms and ultradian rhythms. I don't know those words. I'm sure I pronounced them wrong. Anything which helps even a little you to look into the future, see roadblocks heading your way, and be able to easily sidestep them is worth at least checking out. Contempt before investigation keeps a man in everlasting ignorance. Herbert Spencer. Remember, don't decide something is ridiculous until you at least check into it. Number 8, you notice things others don't. One of the unique things about deep thinkers is that they spend so much time with their thoughts that they are able to know things about themselves that others don't take time to understand. This makes them very perceptive in real life and allows them to tap into things that other people miss out on. Whether it's paying attention to the details on a contract, who wants to read a contract, right? Some of those are like incredibly long. I bought a weed eater yesterday, and it would take me 5 to 10 hours, probably, no, maybe not that long, to read the instructions and the manual on it. And I still couldn't find where it told how just to start the thing up. Incredible. Whether it's paying attention to details in a contract or picking up on hesitation vibes from a friend over coffee, deep thinkers are able to see things differently from the way others see them, and that's a great skill to have in life. The more things you can see from the more different perspectives, the more you are able to discern what is good for you or bad for you, or what is good or bad for someone else. Although none of us can see the big picture, you can use your discernment to make the right decision to take the next step in life. Many people never even take the first step because they can't see the whole journey. You will never see the whole journey. You just have to have a vision and take a step in that direction. Okay, that's it for today. I hope this has been of help to you. Thank you for joining me. Smash that like button and subscribe, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.